Okay, welcome back. This will be part two. Shouldn't take as long, but where I left off last night, we got our base piece created. We've got the hole threaded so it can fit, the part that we need. And we've also got our handle material ready to go. I don't want it to be flat, and I can't really drill, I don't have a way to drill that at an angle, so I'm trying to think. I'll probably use the drill press to drill this in and then create my threaded hole so that we can mount that handle. But before I use this 1/2-inch rod, I'm going to see if I have anything else that can be suitable as a handle. I don't want it to flex, I want it to be rigid. That's what I was thinking, but I think 1/2-inch might just be a little overkill. Let me go through my stock and I'll see if I have something a little bit more appropriate, and I'll bring you right back. Well, I've been thinking, before I go and use screws and all kinds of other stuff, this is really just a 3/8 inch round screw, but it's fully threaded. I'm not sure that I want that inside the mounting sleeve that I have. So I think I'm going to change direction a little bit. I'm going to remake, this is 3/8, so I think I want to use some 3/8 rod and just thread both ends of it. One end to fit in here and one end to fit in the actual boss on the compound. So really I just need to thread one end, make sure it fits, part it off or cut it off with a hacksaw, kind of clean it up, and then thread the other end. So that's what I'm going to do. In addition to that, I can use this same rod. It's still very stiff and rigid for the handle. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So this is a plan. I went ahead and I threaded one end, and I kind of cleaned up the material just to see what it would look like using some emery cloth and Scotch-Brite. And this is going to be my new post. So what I want to do now is I got to get my length right, because ultimately it's going to go up inside there. So obviously if I cut it off there, I have a lot of material to work with. Then I just need to figure out where to go with that. If for some reason after I thread this on, if I don't get it where I need it to be perfect, what I can do down the road is drill a hole in here and put a set screw in to lock in that, especially if it starts moving and wandering and my handle's not where I want it to be. But initially, I'm going to try to get it where I want it. But the next thing to do is take it over to the bandsaw, cut this off, bring it back over here, turn it down just a little bit, and then we're going to put our we're going to try this again. I've got it turned down ever so slightly. Starting it's going to be a little tight, but I did put a chamfer on there, and I think once I get it going, I think we'll be okay. And I'm going to use this recommended, no affiliation by the way. Somebody suggested this, and I want to give it a shot. So wish me luck. Here we go. All right, we're gonna clean this up. Again, on that vise, I had to really clamp down just to get that thing to stop spinning. I don't like it because now my part looks bad. I suppose, you know, this was the diameter of the material, so it is what it is. It'll be hidden, but I don't like it. You know, I want to make something that's quality looking and doesn't have flaws in it. But this is, I may remake this someday just for practice and try to get better. But I'm gonna go ahead and try to, I'm gonna use the file and some emery cloth, and we're just going to try to clean this up as best we can. But we do have our, I'm going to do a test fit of the knob, and then we'll just keep moving. Oh well. All right, so let's bring this in. Oh, let's get this out of here first. So there is our part. And it's not my finest work. It's chewed up, but again, this is me learning the process. First thing that I wanted to do was test the fitment in here. And sure enough, that fits. That's good news. So, I like it. So that'll go down nearly all the way. So now what we need to do is test the fitment on here. Let's give that a shot. And then we continue on. Then it'll be handle time. So let's give this a shot. Okay, so I'm gonna have to cut down some of the rod, I believe, off the top, because that's still a little bit too tall there. So I need to cut some of this down, or cut some of the other side down. So let's get that out of here. I may need pliers for that. All right, need a little modification. I had to put a couple more threads on there. I think we got it now. And then I gotta take a little bit off the end here. Get this out of the way. Let's test that out. Almost, but before we change anything, let's test it out on the tool post. It's easy to crank this thing down nice and tight with a bigger one. Just got to be careful not to over tighten it. Let's see what we got. Nope, it's still got to come down really close though. Keep going. Come on. Get out of there. A lot of fiddly work. I'm going to do this off camera because it's just boring, going back and forth, going back and forth. I'll get this part done and I'll show you the test fit, and then we can move on to the handle finally once and for all. All right, after much fiddling around and everything, I think I got this tight. Now, this is about as tight as I can make it. Well, there we go, that'll help. So that's tight. That's pretty tight. So what I'm trying to do is determine where I want to drill and tap my hole, you know, for the handle to go into. I think we're going to go right in there. Because right there's tight. I mean, I can't, it ain't moving around. I'm going to end up wanting it a little tighter. So if I put it here, I mean, I just don't want this thing in my face. It'll be shorter than that, but I don't want it any farther out than that thing. So I think somewhere in here is where I'm going to put that. And that way when I let it off, you know, so that's pretty tight right there. And again, it may come a little bit farther. So I'm going to mark where I want that to end up. Somewhere in there. And that way I can just loosen it up. Now, essentially, yeah, I will have to Loctite this in. Hopefully that stays, and if it doesn't, like I said, I'll use a set screw. But that's where I'm going to put it. I don't really need this over there. I got to somehow get this set up to where I can drill, so I can drill and tap for this thread. Again, that is I've been using an M10 1.5, sorry. All right, I'm gonna go get this set up in the drill press because I just need a shallow hole enough for the threads to go into, so that the handle can sit, you know, probably, I don't know, 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch. And that's it. So let's get this cleaned up. Blow it off. And I'll bring you right back here. I'm gonna bring you back over to the other bench and we'll start looking at the handle. All right, I'm getting ready to take a break, but we will finish this project in this video. But there's my tapped hole, and there is the part. That's tightened down. But we can move this however we need it. You know, if I twist this, this comes back the other way. I suppose that's a factor, but regardless, we're going to find out how all this works out. Actually, it's not a factor because this is what's important, no matter what orientation this is in. But anyway, this is a temporary, I haven't made the handle yet. I'm just going to use this threaded rod, this bolt, carriage bolt. Kind of thread it in there a little bit, make a makeshift handle. And so there we go. Let's say I get that where I want it, bring that down, it ain't going nowhere. It's locked. Want to move it? There we go. This still functions. Oh, I'm liking that. So, there we go. I'm going to take a break, charge up the camera, eat some lunch, and then we're going to come back and make this handle. All right. I don't know if you can see this contraption, but we're going to use this new lock nut that I have here just as a test. But the next thing to do is create a handle. I'm not sure if I'll make a ball end or something for the end. It won't be a ball whatever I do, but no, I'll complete this project. I'm going to make a handle, and then at the very end we'll put some sort of grab handle or something for that. Let's move this back. The next thing we need to do is create the actual handle, and for that I'm going to actually, we need a length, and I think we'll go kind of like that length with that screw. We can always shorten it up later, but I think I'm going to go with that. This will be way too long, way too long, but that gets my hand out of the way, kind of clears everything. So I think we'll just use that as a model, and we'll go to the bandsaw, we'll cut this, and then I'll bring it back and we'll clean up the end. And then what we have to do is take just a little bit off in order to get my die to work on both ends. So let's go ahead and get this thing cut to length, and I'll be right back. I'm not going to show that this time. So we got this cut to length. Now what I want to do is I need to thread for this end, about that far. I don't want to go too far. if we look at the threads on this, thread it in as far as I can. You know, I want to make sure we get the right depth, but I don't want to see threads. So we'll just kind of mark that for depth. Of course, we can always shave it down, so we want to go a little farther than that, but just let's go a little farther. Probably go down to here. And that, I think, will do just fine. So let's put this, again, we're just taking a little bit off so that we can use our die and continue on. So let's put this back on here. It's our makeshift handle for now. And let's clean this off, and then we'll take just a couple thou off, maybe 5 thou, and then we'll do our die. All right, now I've got my threads on there. Now I want to take a little bit off because it kind of sits proud. I need to take about, I don't know, not quite a 1/4 inch off because I want the handle to kind of be as flush as it can be without seeing threads. I don't want to see threads up here. I think you can kind of see this. Bring you over here. So this is our handle. No knob on it yet. I'll probably remake this someday, but I just want to make this functional and bring this project to a close and actually have this working. But you can see this is very functional already. You know, I can quickly change this. I don't have to use this silly wrench all the time anymore. So I'm really liking where we are with that. So what do we need to do? I'm going to use this scrap. I got this scrap with that proto box that I bought, just a bunch of scrap material, and I think it's kind of cut halfway through. I don't know if you can see that, but what I'm going to do is probably just use the fattest portion of this that I can in order to make a knob. So what I'm going to do is chuck it up here. I was going to cut it off, but I might see if I can get away. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of this off with the bandsaw, and then that will be the piece that I whittle down and make a handle from. So what we're going to do is get that cut off, and then we'll continue on. Well, I'm switching it up. I'm gonna try this piece here. It'll either work or it won't. If it doesn't work, then we'll switch it up. But this is the piece I kind of want to use. So I'm gonna clean it off, and then we'll put a 45-degree angle on the back side. We'll run it in reverse. So let's get this cleaned up. I'm gonna hit this with a file. It'll be an intermittent cut there. Clean that off real quick. All right. So let's face it off, and then we'll put a chamfer on there. Yeah. So now what we're going to do is put a 45-degree angle just until it looks like it'd be comfortable in the palm. For that, I need to swap out the tooling. Let's see, we're going to use, last time I used carbide. I think I'll do that again, since it's already set up. And we can rotate this as needed. I think that's actually a pretty good angle there. Lock that in. We're gonna run this thing in reverse. All right, let's get a 45-degree angle on this, and like I said, until it looks comfortable in the palm. Yep, that's going to work. And finally, we need to drill a center hole so we can tap this thing. More drilling and tapping, and that's going to be the finished product. All right. Now we can get this out of here. Making a big mess today. Let's get this out of here. And now we need to drill another hole about the depth of this, and then we need to tap it. All right, let's get this thing done. I've got it marked, how deep I want to go, and I'm ready to get this piece finished. So here we go. There we go. I'm going to pause it here, and then we're going to tap this, and that should complete this part after some cleanup. I'm going to use this trick again. I'm just going to tap this right here. Use the chuck as a vise. So we'll kind of get that started. And then we will put some lube in there. Let's do that. And we'll tap that down as far as we can go. I'm gonna go clean this out, and then we'll do a test fit. All right, here's a quick test fit. Let's see what happens. Here's our knob. Fits on there. And now we can lock it, unlock it. I like it. All right, let me get things cleaned up. I'll bring you over to the workbench here, and we'll just do a quick recap. All right, welcome back. This is going to be the final recap of this project. What did we do? Quick change, tool post, locking lever. So no more do I need to have this wrench laying around. I can get rid of these bolts. I don't need those anymore. And here's what we have. Here's the components. This took a lot longer to make, but I'm learning along the way. These are very functional pieces, especially for what it is. But what do we have? We have the top nut, I will call it, for the locking lever. We've got a handle knob. We have our new post that will actually mount it to the compound, and then we have our lever itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these things installed over here, and then I'll show you a little bit of a close-up here. So I'll bring you up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Here's how it goes. This piece goes down here. Again, this is not mounted at all. It's it needs to have a screw to keep it from moving around. So that piece goes in there. Then we have our cap nut. Then we have our lever arm, which I'll probably remake some of these components someday. And then lastly, we have our handle knob, and that screws on there. So let me bring you over here. I'll show you, and then we'll recap. Okay, bringing you back. What did we do? There's the concept. We wanted to make this part here to lock our quick change tool post down to the compound, and there it is in all its glory. It might seem a little long, but this thing stays out of the way. It swings all the way around without hitting anything. This still functions. Nothing gets in the way. I'm able to unlock it, change the position of my cutting piece, lock it, and it doesn't move. We'll put a tool on there. So let's say we have our cutting, and we need to change the angle of that. There it is. It doesn't move. Let me bring you back. I'm still learning this camera. So it doesn't move. There we go. So there's the handle. It's got a nice comfortable handle. It's got the cap, the arm, which I'll probably remake. I boogered it up, but it's fine for now. And then we had to make the post. So there we go. Constantly improving things, little by little, learning. Had a lot to learn on this project, but it was a fun one. Much happier with this. I no longer have to keep one of these wrenches just laying down here. I can get this crap out of the way, and I'm always able to work on that. So I'm closing the video here. I'll edit it down, try to keep the talking to a minimum, but thanks for watching. I appreciate you. If you haven't, please subscribe. We're nearing, just broke 760, but hopefully by the time this video comes out, I broke 1,000, but that's my goal. I want to break 1,000 subscribers. It's much more difficult than you think. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.